YouTube? Welcome back to Nerdtastic Halloween. I'm having so much fun doing this. It's been so long, and I have to say, it is fun to try and get back into the swing of it. But before getting into my second ghost of this year, again, I want to put in the spoiler warning. Like I said in the first one, and like I will repeat multiple times throughout this 6-day video spree, the ghosts that I am doing would be considered spoilers for the movie Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, and I never want to spoil anything for anyone, so big spoiler warnings. If you haven't seen the movie, I do recommend going and seeing it because it is a really good movie, but I wanted to just be upfront and honest and just say there are spoilers in these Nerdtastic makeups. Now that that's out of the way, let's move on to ghost number 2. So the second ghost that I decided to choose was one that is only on screen for a little bit of time, but was like such a great few minutes, and also one of the best cameos I've ever seen, up there with Jimmy Buffett running with 2 margaritas in Jurassic World, because that's pretty great too. And I loved it because I was in the theater watching, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice with my family, and you hear his voice first, and I remember looking over to my cousin and both of us mouthing to each other, "Is that Danny DeVito?" And with that, he turned around and there he was, my man, Danny DeVito, as a dead janitor. I didn't know I needed that in my life, but I did, and he was fantastic. I loved his small little role. He didn't say much, he didn't do much, but it was so good, and the makeup for his janitor was just gross, but also really funny at the same time, and I really wanted to try and recreate that. So, without further ado, I'm gonna hand it over to my voiceover, and I will see you in the video.
Okay, so let's get into ghost number 2, Mr. Janitor. So this makeup is actually really easy because it's pretty much you paint your entire face blue. So I used a water-activated blue paint, but if you don't want to use water-activated paints or anything like that, another great way of doing a abnormal shade of skin tone, you could always use a pale foundation or a white foundation, and then add eyeshadow pigments to it, and it will change the color, and then you can just apply like a normal foundation. So I just based everything in that blue and did a couple of coats until it was fully pigmented. And now that my base is done, I'm going in with a purple paint, trying to deepen the crease lines around my face to kind of give me an older, more aged look. Since Danny DeVito's character is supposed to be like an older, dead janitor, his forehead wrinkles are more accentuated, and his under eye bags are deepened, and of course, because he's dead, the eyes are sunken in. So I do go in with the purple and put emphasis on my eye bags, deepen the inner corners, anything I can to make the eyes look more tired, aged, and sunken in. I do really love that Tim Burton uses purple as contour color for some of these ghosts. I think it's a great choice, especially just because with how dark or blue scale or any of those that the movie is shot in, the ghosts that have this blue and purple, it just fits well because it doesn't look like blue and purple, and I really like that kind of juxtaposition. Anyway, I'm now going in with some of the blue paint to kind of blend in the purple so it looks more like it's part of my skin. Then using more purple, I go in to make the hollows of my cheek. Again, following the movie photo, I have to say Danny DeVito's character is the only one I found a behind the scenes, like in the makeup chair photo for. And I was so grateful for that because I had no idea how his paint job worked. And so getting to actually see a photo of it really helped with this. Then you go in with, just like any other contouring, you now have your highlights. So this, I used a paler blue to put the highlight points, like on my nose, above my cupid's bow. I put some in the bags of the eyes to make those pop a little bit more. Pretty much anywhere that you want a highlight, I just went in quickly with the lighter shade of blue to make everything a little more pronounced. Then I go in with some more purple just to deepen the creases around my nose and such like that. So everything's supposed to look very sunken in. I just wanted to deepen any creases or anything that I already have. Now I do go in with a white face paint to cover my eyebrows. Since he is an old janitor, he's got white specks in his eyebrows and his hair, so I just go in with a white paint and just brush it lightly over my eyebrows and kind of spike them a little so that they look a little more untamed, kind of similar to the janitor. I do then take that white paint and put some in my hairline, also to just kind of tie the look together. Now for these little 3D, I guess, vomit pieces. These are completely optional. I just really wanted to see if I could create like a 3D piece that looks like the spit up that he had. So these are just made out of oats, plain oats, a little bit of Jello, lime Jello mixture, and liquid latex. So I soaked the oats in the lime Jello to turn them green, and then I covered it with, once I dried out the oats, I covered it with liquid latex and then painted it. Obviously, super unnecessary. I just really like the idea of these like chunkier pieces. Then I go in with a black paint on just my bottom lip. In the photos I have, you can kind of see just the bottom lip has some black in it underneath the yellow, fluorescent yellow paint on top. So I base that out just roughly because it's not super clean. It's very just slightly there. And then I go in with this yellow-green toxic waste color for the spit up that the janitor has. Since his whole thing is, I guess he was drinking chemicals and that's how he died. So he has this neon toxic kind of spit up all over his mouth. And so I just go in and paint over the areas that are in the photos for that, and of course on top of the pieces I already added. Again, don't need those 3D pieces. If you just paint the yellow-green mixture in these areas, the look will look just perfect. I did realize that it is such a neon color in the photos and such that it was a little hard to try and get there, but I realized that if you base it in a greenish yellow first, adding a little bit of darker greens in certain areas, and then lightly going over the top with a bright yellow, it definitely gives off that toxic waste coloring. And it's okay to be messy because the whole thing is supposed to be, you know, throw up or spit up or whatever you want to call it. So it's okay if it's a little messy and uneven. I will say I think this was the most fun I had, was painting this toxic goo. Just because it's such a striking color difference from the rest of the makeup. And then, of course, because it's me, I had to put on mascara. No matter what, every look will have mascara in it. I do not care. Totally optional, you don't have to put mascara. I just have very light eyelashes, and I just like having mascara on them. And that's pretty much it.
And here's the final look. Overall, I'm super happy with how this turned out. It is such a fun and easy makeup to do. Obviously, you don't have to do these like 3D pieces. Paint job will work just as well. I just like adding a little extra texture to my looks, but totally unnecessary. And this look is just fun. Like, I'll be honest, when I saw it on screen and I saw the cameo of Danny DeVito, I looked at the look and I said that would be really fun to recreate. So I think I did a pretty good job at, you know, recreating the look. I will say there are some issues, like the forehead lines are definitely not great. And around my under eyes are a little off too. But overall, I was just having fun with it, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button. If you want to see more, please hit that subscribe. And if you feel ever so inclined, please leave me a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Anyway, that's it for me. Until next time, as always, stay nerdy, my friends. Later!